In this section, we're going to see how to customize this slider that comes with this particular theme. So remember, we're using the Sydney theme, which is a theme you can get for free. You can upgrade to the Pro version if you like, which is pretty inexpensive. So as I say, I'm going to show you something now that's specific to this particular theme. So this is not WordPress, this is the Sydney theme. So if we go to the background here, the back end, and if we go to Appearance, there's a couple of things that are obviously specific to this theme, like for instance where it says Sydney Information or Sydney Info. Now if you click on where it says Sydney Info, which you'll find under Appearance, you've got various things. So you can look at a demo of this theme, you can find the advantages of the Pro version, and up here, if you click on that, you can look at the documentation. Now it's pretty good documentation because you've got written documentation, and you've also got these little videos that you can follow. So this obviously is particular to this particular theme. So it's not a WordPress thing, this is about this particular theme. So anyway, there's all the documentation. You can go and read that. And as I say, what I want to do is I want to customize the slider here. So the first thing I need to do is to upload some pictures specifically for the slider. So I can go to where it says Media, Add New, and I can go and upload some pictures. But I'll switch to the multi-file uploader. Right, I'm going to go to Sydney slider, and I've got a couple of pictures in here. These ones here are going to be for the slider, and this other one, I've just called it Sydney header. That's going to be for the background on the other pages. So I'll upload these. Incidentally, you'll notice just where it's uploading, the file names are image 4, image 6, image 8, etc., which is a really stupid name for the images, but this is just a demo. Obviously, if you're thinking about SEO, you should, prior to uploading them, rename these files to something more specific to your website. So in this case, the website's about web design, so I could call them something like website design, or in my case, because I'm based in Perth, something like Perth website design, or something like that, something along the themes. Try and use different names. Don't use the word, in my case, web design over and over again, because that could look a bit spammy. So as I say, from SEO point of view, always, the golden rule is whenever you can name something, give it an SEO friendly name. So anyway, they're continuing to upload here. It's going a bit slow for some reason. And there they are, they've all uploaded. Again, I won't actually do it in this case, but if you're doing this for real, you click on Edit, and as well as pre-naming the files with an SEO friendly file name, what you should do is go in there and put an alt text in. Remember, alt text is a way of telling Google what the pictures are about. But I won't actually do it in this case. We're not talking about SEO, we're talking about sliders. So if we go to Appearance, and then go to where it says Customize. Now bear in mind, one more time, this is about the Sydney theme. So this is specific to the Sydney theme. It's not a WordPress thing. Each theme will be slightly different when you install them, but you kind of get the hang of it. Anyway, I'm going to click on where it says Customize here. And there's various things we've got here. Notice you can change things like the fonts and the background image, all sorts of things you can do. But at the moment, we're interested in the header area over here. So with the header slider, if I click on this, it's basically saying, well, you can change the speed of the slider. This is measured in milliseconds. There's the first slider. If you want to, I can change the image to something else. Well, I've just uploaded some images, so let's change that to something else. So I'll pick one of these from the menu here. Yep, we'll go with that one. So that's image 4. So I'll choose that image. We'll worry about the text in a minute. We'll just change the images first. So we'll change this one. We'll go for that one there. And we'll change the next one. This one doesn't actually have an image at the moment, so we shall select an image. So we'll go for that one there. And we'll go for the next one. So we'll select an image here. And we'll go for that one there. And then finally, we shall do this one, which is that one there. Let's just make sure I've got the right one. Because this one, you notice, is a different size. That one is going to be used for the header on the other pages. These ones here are all set to this size here, which I got from looking through the documentation. That's the sizes that they used in the demos. So I shall select the image there. And if we just scroll up, you can see we've now got my images, which is what I want. So we'll go and change the text. So we'll say something like web design. and I'll just put the name of the company, Cheltenham Group. There we go. And it gives you a sort of demo of what that's going to look like. And if we go down to the second slide, right, the third one. So basically you just keep on adding information here. So something like this, and again, fix any typos. Obviously, if you make any typos, you can fix them at any point later on. Then finally, we've got this one here. Right, so it's probably best to give those a little bit of thought. I didn't give those too much thought there, but essentially we've set this up now. So I'll click on where it says Save and Publish. And if I go back here, and if we look at the header image here, I can add a new header image. And I'll add this one here, which again is a slightly different size from the other ones, notice. So it's, in this case, it's 1280 by 549 pixels. So we'll say, okay, go with that one there. And we'll just sort of crop the image, something like that. And close that down. Right, if we go to the front end and refresh, let's see what we get. And there you are. As you can see, we've got the new slider in place. Now just read through it and check it's all okay. Make sure you haven't got any typing errors like this one here where it says turnaround. If you do, you just simply go back into here, go back into appearance, back into customize, and then go back into the header area here, go into the header slider. So turn, A-R-O-U-N-D. So yep, that's right. So you just save that. Then you go back and refresh it, and everything should be fine. So as you can see, you can have a nice looking slider here. Everything's still working. If you go to one of the other pages, as you can see, I've got a different header here, which is quite subtle. I've just got these sort of nice sort of rocks in the background. And if you go to other pages here, you can see that's consistent. And then we go back to the home page. We've got our slider there. So that's how you would customize the slider in the Sydney theme. Now, as I say, WordPress, it's a bit difficult to teach in some ways because every single theme is slightly different. Later on, I'll install a premium theme that you pay for and just sort of show you the sort of things you can do with that. And generally, the better the theme, the more that's built into it. So as you can see, this theme here is excellent. It's got this really good slider built into it. With a lot of themes, there's no slider and you have to create a slider using a plugin. Whereas this one here, it's all built around the slider on the first page, so it just has that sort of nice sort of built in and designed look. And as you've seen, you can change these any which way you want. Incidentally, don't think you have to have slides that relate specifically to what you're doing. I mean, here I'm talking about a web design company, and I've got these rather Zen type pictures, and it's just something visual. You don't have to think, well, if you're doing, I don't know, something about, say, a laundrette, you have to have every single picture about a laundrette. You can have something a little bit more sort of ethereal if you want to. I think you'd agree now the whole look of the website is looking pretty good, and so far all we've done is we've just used a theme that is free and plugins that are free. So apart from the web hosting and the domain name, it's all totally free, and I think you'd agree it's looking nice, it's getting there. There are still more things we can do if we want to. To some extent with websites, it's a bit like painting, when is the painting ever finished? The thing about websites is you don't want to overcomplicate them. You go to some websites and it's a mystery how you can move from one page to the other sometimes. So just try and keep things as simple as possible. Just because you can do complicated things, that necessarily means you should do them. And a picture's worth 1,000 words, as they say. Also, whoops, look, for some reason the gallery isn't working. So I need to go in and fix that. So do you remember I was saying about broken links? You always got to check for them. So for some reason here, this gallery isn't working. I didn't mean to do that. I've just noticed that. So I'll go and fix that in a minute. I can't stress enough, once you've got your website up and running and launched, you should click on every single link that you can. I mean, run your broken link checkers and all the rest of it. But just click on links and make sure that you go to the right place and everything's working properly. Again, with things like sliders, make sure they're working as expected. I mean, sometimes they just give you some problems sometimes, or one plugin might crash with another one. So just spend a lot of time every so often just sort of going through it, making sure it's okay. And also when new versions of WordPress come out again, or you install new plugins, just make sure they work. I mean, this is especially true of things like contact forms. I mean, you can imagine if you had a contact form here and something went slightly wrong with it and people were unable to get through to you, well, you've gone to all this trouble here and the contact form would let you down. So again, with your contact forms, just maybe once a month or maybe once a week if you've got the time, just go in there and just send yourself a sort of test message, make sure everything's okay. And again, just give the site a kind of once over, make sure everything is looking okay and it hasn't slowed down for some reason, that kind of stuff. And as I said, the other thing is checking for broken links, do that regularly. But anyway, getting back to the slider, I think you'll agree, that's looking quite nice. And it's all totally free.